All right, this is my simple Java CLI chess application. It was the first solo hobby programming project I did, and I was inspired to do this project by one of my friends who had done a similar but far more impressive project. So my goal with the project was to get my hands dirty with a hobby project and become better at writing easily readable code. So fundamentals such as choosing good names for methods and variables and good organization. So I favored readability over performance. Now let's see the game. I'll try to press play here. So first the white player is prompted to make a move. If an invalid move is attempted, the player gets prompted again. For instance, if I initially say I want to move from the empty square b4, I will get prompted again. And similarly, if I try to move my bishop from c1 to a3, it will still be my turn because the pawn was in the way of this bishop move. But let's try a legal move. So I'll move from e2 to e4. This flips the board, so it's now from black's perspective, and it's now black to move. And let's play the Sicilian, which flips it back to white again, and so it goes on. I started out by using behavior-driven development with Gherkin cucumber tests, but after refactoring square from being a string to having its own class, I did not bother to update the tests. Today, I do really appreciate tests though, and I think they are a great way, of course, to remove bugs, but also especially I love how safe I feel in refactoring when I know the tests cover the behavior of the refactored code. And as you see, right now these tests are not doing well. And also initially, when I came to revisit this project, I thought I'd update it to better reflect my current skills. So for instance, I implemented the Fen parser here, which could be used for the BDD tests that are failing. But ultimately, I decided I want the project to stay how it is so I can look back on it and be reminded of how much I've improved since writing it. So I never pushed this Fen parser to Git. As for the code itself, the game manager, which we have here, is responsible for managing turns and moves played. So what goes into that? Well, I don't want to go into all the details, so let's just have a look at the piece class to start with. It's an abstract class, and it has this method is pseudo-legal move, which is used by the board. So what is this pseudo-legal move? A pseudo-legal move is a chess programming term for a move that can be made without taking into consideration king checks. It specifies that the squares moved to must either be empty or have an opposite colored piece for a capture. There must be an actual move, and it must also be a pseudo-legal move. And this is an abstract method which is implemented by all of the inheritors of piece. So let's have a look at one of them. So yeah, queen extends the piece, and it has this is pseudo-legal move. And actually, I moved the logic for that into this utility class called move calculator, which generalizes some of the shared moves between the bishop, the queen, and the rook into some neat functions or methods. Another cool class I would like to highlight is the Zobrist table. And this essentially allows us to compute the hash value of a position in O1 running time per move, after some initial ON preprocessing at the start of the game. And by M in the ON, I mean the number of squares on the board. And this hashing is useful to quickly be able to check in a chess game whether there is a threefold repetition draw. It works through some smart random number generation for each piece, and it can, in one bit operation, update the hash of a position after a move. And I think that constitutes what I wanted to show for this demo. So thank you for tuning in and have a nice day.